What's up YouTube, Uberman here. This video is going to be primarily dedicated to rate cuts that are going on across uh, at least the nation, maybe even the world, I don't know. Um, but I know there's a lot of pissed off drivers out there. I know we had a protest the other day, which I did not participate in. Um, I got nothing against the people that participated in the protest, but the truth is, we are independent contractors. We're sole proprietors. I mean, protest your hearts out. I just don't see where it's really going to accomplish anything. Um, I know these rate cuts hurt. I do. I'm one of the people that started when Uber first launched, um, when mileage rates were at $2.50 per mile. And I am currently still working with Uber, and they just slashed our rates twice this week, actually. Um, we are down to $1.10 per mile now. We went from $2.50 a mile down to $1.10 a mile. Um, Currently, I drive a Cadillac DeVille with a 300 horsepower Northstar V8 that is averaging me 20 miles a gallon. Holds 20 gallons of gas, and I drive approximately 650, 700 miles per weekend. So, as you can imagine, it only uses premium unleaded, of course. So, at 3.25 a gallon, 20 gallons of gas, and I drive 700 or so miles every weekend. The gas is somewhat expensive, and that's my problem. All right, typically I drive a four-cylinder, something easy on gas, but I just wanted to drive a Cadillac for a while. I'm Uber X, cramped up in that little car. So for now I'm driving a Cadillac. It's more comfortable, has a lot more power. Customers, obviously customers love it. Customers are totally for it. They're getting basically an Uber Black car at an Uber X price. And again, my stupidity. I would never recommend any of you to do that, ever. I highly recommend sticking with fuel-efficient, gas-saving cars. The only reason I did this, honestly, was for my own comfortability. There's no other reason. Granted, the customers benefit from it as well, but it's really about me. I don't plan on keeping this forever, but just for a little while. Anyway, let's move on. So, you're all pissed off about rate cuts. So am I. All right. Don't think I'm sitting here, doing a dance for Uber. I understand your frustration because I'm right here with you in the thick of it. I'm one of these guys, just like everybody else that's out here on a weekend, driving through a flood of Uber cars, trying to make my money. The same way the rest of you are trying to make yours. I understand your frustration, but I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I have a theory. I'm going to share it with you. And I'm really curious to see what you think. So definitely, even if you think I'm totally full of shit, hey, share that information. I'm open. I've got a very open mind. I could very well be wrong, but I hope I'm right. I got to thinking about these rate cuts, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out why would Uber keep cutting rates. We're already, like, in this area, we're something like 30% cheaper than a taxi cab already. There's no competition anymore. Okay? What are you going to do? We were at $1.25 a mile. Now we're at $1.10. Because they just cut our rates again. But you're talking about a taxi cab is, I believe it's $2 per mile. Plus they charge like an extra 65 cents per passenger. We right now are at $1.10 a mile. It's hard to beat. Now, granted, we do charge by the minute. It's like 21 cents a minute now. It's not much, guys. It's not much. So yeah, it sounds like we're actually around 50% cheaper than the taxi cab, but I believe what Uber says is more realistic. We're probably a little over 30% cheaper than a taxi cab. Now, you can either go ride in a 300,000 mile ex-cop car, that's been puked in, bled in, God knows what else, 15 years old, or, for 30% less, you can come ride in my Cadillac. or the guy next to me that's driving a 2014 Prius or something. There's no more competition. That's the point I'm trying to make. There's no competition between Uber and the taxi industry anymore. We win. We're cheaper. We're more efficient. Our cars are cleaner. Our cars are newer. So why would Uber continue cutting the rates? At first, all I could think of is they're trying to punish the drivers, because obviously if Uber cuts their rates, they're also losing money. So I don't get it. Business is good. Why do they need to keep cutting the rates? When is it going to stop? There has to be a threshold, or Uber and drivers will no longer be able to make any money. I mean, what are they going to stop at? 70 cents a mile? Really? Come on, man. I gave it a lot of thought. I don't have a college degree, but I have been a sole proprietor for close to 10 years. I've got quite a bit of history in marketing. As a sole proprietor, I had to market my business, my name, my brand. I had to convince people that what I was selling was worth buying. So I stopped thinking about this from a driver's perspective, and I started thinking about it from a company's perspective. And here it is. Lay it out for you. Okay. Taxi companies are still in business. Taxi companies are still getting customers. Okay, granted, we have put a huge dent in the industry. But I think Uber's end goal is not just to put a dent in the taxi industry. I think their goal is to eliminate them. So, the rates keep dropping, the rates keep dropping, the rates keep dropping. And what does that do? That starts getting more and more people that may not have been using Uber before, because maybe for them it just didn't make enough sense. Some people are just comfortable. They're comfortable using a taxi cab. They don't like change. Well, Uber starts dropping the prices more and more and more. Even people that might be a little uncomfortable with it are going to start looking at it going, well, damn, I can save close to 50%. It's worth one ride. And of course, once they take that first ride, they're hooked. It's like crack. I mean, I got customers all the time telling me, man, after my first ride, I never went back to a taxi cab. Well, that's what I believe the goal is. Drop the rates to the point where taxi cabs can't survive anymore. Once Uber pushes the taxi industry out of business, essentially, there's nothing left but rideshare. Uber wins. Uber now holds a monopoly over the transportation industry. Well, that's a game changer, guys. If their goal is to reduce prices to such a point where everybody can afford to use Uber, there will be nothing left of the taxi industry, and Uber will hold a monopoly over this business. At that point, they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can raise the rates back up. They can slowly raise them, a little at a time, kind of like they've been decreasing them. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. The other part of this theory, I think it goes a little bit beyond the taxi industry. I think, okay, if I was an Uber executive, if I was a strategic marketing person, an analyst or something, this is a great idea, okay? Trust me when I tell you, there are drivers out there lined up to work for Uber, even at $1.10 a mile, okay? They could probably drop the rates to 90 cents a mile, and they would still have drivers lining up to work. Seasoned drivers like myself, people that have been around a year, 2 years, okay, we're pissed because we're working way harder than we were, and we're not making the money we used to make, so we're pissed off. You know what? That's okay. It's fine, because what are we going to do? Quit? Do you think Uber cares? They don't. Quit. Because you know why? Once we quit, they're going to fill those positions with more people. I mean, believe me, we are replaceable. Every one of us could be replaced tomorrow. There is no shortage of people willing to work for less money than what we're making right now. So, okay, drop the rates, new drivers come in. See, the old drivers are pissed, we're jaded, so we leave. And that's okay, because they've got people ready to take our places, right? New drivers come in, they drop the rates. They get jaded, they leave, guess what? That's fine, because they got more drivers coming back in again. This loop never ends until Uber decides they've reached a threshold that they're no longer going to drop the rates below. Now, why would they do this when we've already beaten the competition as far as the taxi industry goes? There's only one reason I can think of to do this, and it's not because they hate their drivers. This is business, guys. They're looking out for themselves. It's what business is. Chew on this one. Okay? We've already beaten the taxi industry. Now we're going to beat them even more. I mean, I guess we're going to beat a dead horse, so to speak. But on the flip side of that, not only is this about the taxi industry anymore, this is about taking people that use Uber recreationally. You know, people on the weekends that are going out to the bars, getting drunk, they don't want to risk a ticket, they're being responsible. This is about taking people that are recreationally using Uber and transforming them from a recreational user to an everyday user. I have met people that have told me, not from my area, these were people typically from much larger cities, New York City. In New York City, it's not uncommon for people to not own a car anyway. But Chicago, I had a guy from Chicago tell me he sold his car and all he uses now is Uber. What if that's the end goal, guys? Doesn't that make more sense? Drop the rates to a point where everybody is comfortable using Uber, where everybody can afford to use Uber. They no longer rely on their vehicles anymore. Can you imagine what kind of a customer base Uber would have if, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a majority. Say 30 or 40% of Uber users sold their cars and started taking Ubers as their only means of transportation 24/7. That makes sense. It does. I can see where that marketing would work. Possibly. This is strategic marketing at its finest, okay? This is a genius idea. And I hope that I'm right. I hope this is where it's going. Uber sends in all their emails when they email us letting us know of the rate cuts and how much more money we're going to make, which we don't. But they tell us in every one of those emails, the rates are dropping, we're going to have more customers. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe it's coming, okay? Maybe there's a lot of drivers right now, but they're still reaching out to customers. This is a new industry, guys. This is going to take a while for anybody to see how this is going to turn out. There's just no way to know. But it could be that Uber is going out on a limb, dropping the rates, number one, to kill the taxi industry and hold the monopoly. Number two, to get recreational users to become everyday users. They go to work, need to go to the airport, need to go to the grocery store, you push Uber, okay? And if it worked out that way, even if they could get a small percentage of people to switch from having their own vehicle to just using Uber, I can see where there would be a much larger market and we would require all the drivers that we have on the streets right now. I know the market's flooded with drivers. I do. I'm in it, okay? I'm in it with you guys. I see it every weekend. I already know. But as a business owner myself, okay, everybody knows this. Business 101, supply and demand, guys, okay? If Uber had just started out, okay, and they had a shitload of customers, but they had almost no drivers, Uber would have flopped almost instantly. What good is a company if you can't provide the service you're offering to your customer base? That's why Uber started with the high mileage rates, guys. Think about it. They started with the higher mileage rates. They started paying the original drivers good money because they needed drivers on the streets to handle the influx of customers. And it worked. Now they're hiring more drivers, more drivers, more drivers, more drivers. And now the rest of us, we're all sitting here pissed off because there's a shitload of drivers everywhere. We can't, I'm still making my money. I'm sure a lot of people are too, but it's a lot harder, right, guys? It's a lot harder to make that money. It's definitely a lot harder. But without the drivers there to provide the service, the customers will leave. There won't be a customer base to provide a service to. So they have to drop the rates. They have to get more drivers in here because they've got an influx of customers coming in every day, and they've got to be able to supply their demand. Otherwise, there is no Uber. I'm going to end this video with that. Let me know what you think. Maybe you think I'm crazy. Maybe you think I'm onto something. But just think about it, guys. Maybe Uber's not trying to screw us over, okay? Maybe we are in a brand new market. This is a new technology. And it's going to fluctuate. Things are, they were great. Now they're kind of crappy. Maybe give it a little time and see where this goes. Maybe Uber is actually working to kill the taxi companies, put them out of business, hold the monopoly, and then gain regular clientele that use Uber for everything, from the grocery store to the airport, to picking up their kids from daycare. Then again, maybe I'm just a little too optimistic. Don't give up on Uber, guys. I haven't. I've got faith. I know it's hard. $1.10 a mile is a hard pill to swallow. Believe me, I know. I'm driving a car that gets 20 miles a gallon for UberX. Okay, I'm with you. I feel your pain. Comment, like, subscribe, and as always, drive safe. Uber on.